Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. And today we are entering one of the most crucial things or one of the most crucial upakhyanas of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana, and that is Ahalya Shapa Vimochana. In the previous episode, when we are ending the episode, we were at a point where Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana got to know about Kshirasagara Mathana and then the Asaucha that came to Diti, and how the child who was supposed to be born and kill Devendra ended up becoming 7 pieces, and all the 7 parts became 7 kids, and all those 7 people grew up to become 7 Maruttus who went on to serve Devendra instead. So that was the story. Now Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and Vishwamitra Maharshi, and all the Rishis, all of them now were at the doorstep of Mithila, almost at the doorstep of Mithila. And there was an ashrama. And Vishwamitra Maharshi took them into that ashrama, and Sri Ramachandra entered. The ashrama is pious. The moment they entered the ashrama, everyone knew that some great sage did tapasya there. And all of a sudden, there was no one whom they can see. Looking at this, Sri Ramachandra again asked, Hey Bhagavan, Hey Maharshi, Hey Vishwamitra Maharshi, looks like a great ashrama. A person who was here, he must have done a lot of tapasya, he would have done a lot of penance. I am seeing that here. But then why is this ashrama so empty? And as usual, Vishwamitra Maharshi, with all his joy, started telling, Hey Ramachandra, this is the ashrama of Gautama Mahamuni. And you know who Gautama Mahamuni is? Gautamasya Narasrestha Purvamasin Mahatmanaha Ashramo Divya Sankasaha Surairapi Supujitaha. Normally we do tapasya to see devatas, but then devatas themselves used to come to Gautama Maharshi's ashrama to visit him, to take his darshana, which means you can understand how great Gautama Maharshi was. It was Gautama Maharshi who brought Godavari river, right? Who brought Ganga again and made Godavari, right? So, and that's why we call Godavari, even today we call it as Gautami, right? So, that's the greatness of Gautama Maharshi. And now, let us step a little back. This is not there in Ramayana. I'm slightly taking a detour because Gautama Maharshi's wife is Ahalya, but then we'll have to know who Ahalya is and why Ahalya story is such an important thing for every Indian, for every person, not just Indian, but every person who belongs to Sanatana Dharma. Why is it so important? We'll get to know in a few minutes, but it's an extremely important story for everyone. So we need to understand who Ahalya is. In Brahmavaivarta Purana, we have a story about Ahalya. Okay. See, we just heard about Kshirasagara Mathana, right? In Kshirasagara Mathana, Sri Mahavishnu took the form of Mohini, the most beautiful woman ever known. He came like Mohini and he gave the Amruta to all the Devas. So this part we all know, right? But now, when Brahmaji saw this, when Brahmaji saw Mohini, he felt, Arey, I am the creator. I should have created such beautiful lady. I did not create such beautiful lady. It was Sri Mahavishnu who took the form of a lady and that became such a beautiful woman. Now I will create a lady who is almost like Mohini. And so he created one of the most beautiful women. Okay. And he named her Ahalya. Okay. The moment Ahalya was born, Devendra went to Brahmaji. So now this lady was born directly as a young woman. Okay. The moment she was created, Devendra went and asked, please give her in marriage to me. Okay. That was the first time Ahalya saw Devendra. And when we look at Devendra, he is not like our cinema Devendra or serial Devendra who is always running. Devendra is considered to be one of the most beautiful men in the world. He is the head of all Devatas. He is the one with greatest parakrama, means greatest energy in his hands. At the same time, he wields the greatest power, and also he has one of the most beautiful bodies, right? And when she saw, see, the lady is in her youth. She saw a beautiful man. She had kinchit. She had a small crush. You can say some small amount of tilt came in her mind for Devendra at that point of time. At that point of time, please let us be very, very careful when we are discussing this. At that time only, she had a small crush, or a small thought that he should have been her husband. But Brahmaji, he just said, okay. See, Brahmaji, he is always in tapasya, right? He likes tapasvis. Now, Brahmaji said, no, no, I'll put up a huge contest for all of you. Anyone who covers the entire Brahmanda and comes back here first, he will marry Ahalya. So he invited all rishis, munis, kings, devatas, and he told all this. Now, all of them went saying that we'll go around the world and come back. Only Gautam Mahamuni, there was a cow over there. He went to that cow and he did a pradakshina around the cow and said, I have done the parikrama of entire earth. So the contest was, when I meant Brahmanda, it was not all the lokas, it was only for the Bhulokas. When Gautama finished the Bhu Pradakshina, that essentially meant that he finished the contest. Okay, because Brahmaji's original point was that people should complete Bhu Pradakshina and come back. Since Gautama finished it first, Ahalya was given to Gautama and their marriage was done. And Gautama and Ahalya, they were living very nicely in this ashrama near Mithila. And Ahalya was a doting wife. She did everything in her capacity to keep Gautama happy. And Gautama was also doing everything in his capacity to keep Ahalya happy. They both were leading a very happy life. And when they both were leading a very happy life, Gautam Maharshi's tapashakti started increasing by leaps and bounds, because on a daily basis, he was doing wonderfully a lot of anusthana. He was doing great tapasya, and day by day his tapasya strength was increasing. And now Devendra had a job, because when somebody's tapasya increases, there is a risk to the entire world, because that might go against the world also. We have seen it in terms of when Ravanasura did the tapasya for a long, long time. What did he do? He took all sorts of boons so that he'll not be killed by anyone. And from that, I mean, he left Nara and Vanara, that's a different story. But then when they get all these boons, they again go back, they say, we are going to attack Swargaloka. They put the entire balance of the world at a toss. So now Gautama Maharshi's tapashakti should be reduced. So Devendra said, okay, I'll put myself as the bait. I have two desires. One, I always wanted to get Ahalya. Two, I want to reduce the tapashakti of Gautam Mahamuni. So what can I do? I'll go and do something with Ahalya so that Gautam Mahamuni will get angered. And when he gets angered, what he would do? He would give a shapavak, or he would give me a curse. And when you curse someone, your tapashakti will go away. And since his tapashakti will come down, again the world will be happy for some time. And because he has to curse me, he has to spend a lot of tapashakti on me. Again, to get that amount of tapashakti, he'll have to do a lot of penance again. So this way, I am doing two things. One, I am finishing the world's job. At the same time, I am doing a small favor for myself also. Thinking this, Devendra went. So that's why I'm saying, whenever we look at the story of Ahalya, we need to be extremely careful, because whatever has happened in the story and the lessons that we learn from the story are extremely important, and we need to understand the intention of every person who came here. So this was Devendra's intention. Okay, now did Devendra do the right thing? Probably not, if you ask me, because she should have found out another way in which he could have troubled Gautam Maharshi or taken away some amount of his tapasakti than troubling Ahalya, because she should not be brought into this, is at least what I felt. But then that's my humble personal opinion, and it might be completely wrong. Okay, but again, let us come back. What Devendra had in his mind was this. So with this intention, Devendra comes and he went there. And there is a story where, they say he became like a cock, and he, even before the Sandhya Vandana's time in the morning, before it became sunrise, he somehow lured by, the cock makes a sound, right, to announce the daybreak. So by making that sound, he tricked Gautam Maharshi to go to the river and do his Sandhya Vandana. And that's a story that's there. And but again, coming back onto Ramayana, we see this sloka very particularly, where he dresses himself like Gautam Mahamuni. When I say dresses, he transforms himself into Gautam Mahamuni, and then he walks into the hut. Okay, now see, after 11:30 in the night, they say you are not supposed to do Bharya Sangama, or you are not supposed to get into any procreative activities after 11:30 in the night. Okay, and it's a sin if you do it during Brahma Muhurta time. Now, Devendra entered into the hut during that time, that during that Brahma Muhurta sort of time, which is early in the morning. Okay, so when he went inside, Ahalya realized that the person who came in was not her husband. Please listen to this extremely in a very careful manner. Okay, he went inside. Munivesham Sahasraksham Vignaya Raghunandana Matim Chakara Durmedha Devaraja Kutuhalat. Ahalya, she's a great pativrata. She knew who her husband is, and she knew that this person who came in the guise of her husband was not her husband. And she also knew that Gautama Mahamuni, who is an epitome of dharma, would not come at such a time during Brahma Muhurta and say, I want to indulge in some procreative sort of activities with you. But then she obliged. She knew this. And why did she oblige? Because he is the Devarajyadipati. Okay, and she had some crush at some point of time, right? And then she accepted for the Sangama, and that happened. And once that is over, please let us listen to what she's saying. I mean, I'm being very careful here. Please don't take me otherwise, because we are talking about a pativrata. Even today we consider Ahalya as a pativrata. अधाब्रवीत् सुरश्रेष्ठं कृतार्थेन अंतरात्मना कृतार्थास्मि सुरश्रेष्ठा गच्छ शीघ्रमित प्रभोः आत्मानं मां च देवेशा सर्वधा रक्षमानदा. She's saying, hey Indra, because I have had this activity with you, I am happy. I have become a krutartha. I am happy. Quickly leave away from here, because if Gautama comes, if he is going to see you, you are going to bear the consequences of this. Now, we all know, right, what has happened. And now let us look at Indra's reaction. See, Indra came with a purpose here. He wants to be seen by Gautama. Are you getting it? So, Indrastu prahasan vakyam ahalyam idam abravit susroni paritushthosmi gamishyami yadhagatam. Indra then gave a fake smile and he said, I also became very happy. I found the Ananda. Now I am leaving. So the way I came, I am leaving. Saying this, he came out like a thief out of that Parnashala. Let me clear one thing here. In the slokas where you can get these in Valmiki Ramayana are Balakanda 48th Sarga, 20th, 21st and 22nd slokas are where Ahalya and Devendra speak like this. Okay, again, the cock story and tricking Gautama, these slokas are not there in Valmiki Ramayana, but then that's a story that's believed by many people, hence I told it. Okay, now don't go back and search for it, and then if you don't find it, don't get disappointed saying that this is not there in Valmiki Ramayana. Since we are doing a complete reading, I am telling you what is not there also. Okay, but then many people believe it is there, but it's not there. Okay, because see, the main problem with that Cockwala story is Gautama Maharshi is such a great tapasvi that Devas come to take his darshan. Then how can he be tricked by a cock about Brahma Muhurta Kala? When you are waking up at 3 o'clock every day or 4 o'clock in the morning every day, do you think you need an alarm clock after 2-3 years? Your body will wake up automatically, right? Yes or no? That's what happened. So, this tricking and all, and the moment we believe in that story, we'll have to believe that Gautama was so gullible that somebody could trick him like that. So, that story is not there. Now, Gautama was coming from in the opposite direction, and the fake Gautama, Devendra, was also coming in the other direction. And when they saw Gautamam Saddarsadha Pravishantam Mahamanim Devadanavadurdarsham Tapobala Samanvitam. Okay, Devendra saw Gautama, Gautama saw Devendra, and Gautama quickly realized what has happened. So, by a look on the face of the fake Gautama or Devendra, Gautama was able to realize what has happened. And then he said, Hey Durmate, you took my form and did a sin that is not supposed to be done at all. And why were you able to do it? because you were like a man, but because you are a man, you are able to do this. Hence, from today, you will not have your testicles. And that moment, the testicles of Devendra fell down on the earth. From today, you will cease to be a Purusha, is what he said. Indra, he said, okay, I sacrificed whatever I had to sacrifice to get his tapasya down, and I also got my happiness, and hence he left from there. And now Gautama was looking at Ahalya, and he said, Iha varsha sahasrani bahuni tvam nivasyasi vayubhaksha nidahara tapyanti bhasmasayini adrusya sarvabhutanam ashramesmin nivasyasi. Many people think Gautama made Ahalya into a stone. No, he did not say. He said, there was a mistake that you committed. To correct this mistake, for some thousands of years, you stay here and you keep doing your tapasya. Keep taking air and keep doing your tapasya. So after some time, slowly a lot of sand will come onto you, a lot of dirt will come onto you, and you'll be covered in dirt. Nobody will be able to see you. Vayu Bhaksha. I'm telling you, you'll be able to survive just by breathing. Okay? And just you stay here. Agamishyat durdharsha tada puta bhavishyati tasyadhityena durvrutte lobha moha vivarjita. So after some time, Sri Ramachandra would come into this forest and then he will come into this Parnashala, and once he enters this Parnashala, you will come out of this form and you will become pure once again. Till then, I am going to leave this Parnashala, and Parnashala is nothing but the ashrama. After he comes, and the moment you are clear from this sin, I will come and we will live together again. Now see, we all talk about a lot of marital issues, lot of marital problems, lot of things. And many people who had this misconception that she was turned into stone, they keep asking this question, why should she be turned into the stone and all. But when you look here, please tell me, whom did Gautama punish here? Yes, he punished Devendra, but when it comes to the wife and husband, between Ahalya and himself, whom did he punish? He said, you stay here, I will go away. He left the house. He did not ask her to leave the house. That's Sanatana Dharma. Once the Brahma Mudi is done for a man and a lady, that's for life. In Sanatana Dharma, there is no word for divorce. Many Hindi people might think talak, but no, that's Hindi word or a Sanskrit word. That's an Urdu word. There is no word for divorce in Sanatana Dharma. Once you get into that relationship, that's where you enter without an exit. Okay? So you enter there, you stay there. And if there is a mistake committed by one of the partners, the other partner should have enough energy, enough strength to forgive and to put both themselves into sadhana and work so that the sin of both of them is removed. That's why they say, right, in Sanatana Dharma, a marriage is for 7 lives, right? So that's what has happened here. Please understand that. That's why I really was trying to emphasize a lot on this story, because I mean to say, now another question here. Did Ahalya make a mistake? Yes. Now, why did he ask her not to eat food? And why did he not take another lady? Here comes the importance of food in Sanatana Dharma. See, why did Ahalya want Devendra? Because he was beautiful, because he has money, right? And from where did she get these thoughts? It's, see, when we consume some amount of food, right, a sixth part of that food becomes our manas. That's why you see, when you do an upavas, you will be thinking only about food, but your mind will not think about anything else. At the max, it would think about food, right? Why does that happen? And when you stop eating food for quite some time, slowly you will start forgetting things. Why? That's because your manas is going away, and we remember all the things that we do in our lives using our manas. And the manas is a recorder which keeps recording everything. Okay, we all have heard the name of Chitragupta, right? Who is Chitragupta? Chitragupta is the person who is sitting in our heart in a very interesting way. Now, imagine you have done some good things in your life. When you try to remember that good thing, you will not see text, you will see an image, you will see a chitra. Imagine you have helped a lady or a man, old man, cross a road. Whenever you remember that good karma of yours, you will see that man's face, you will remember that road, you will remember that time, but you won't remember an essay on how to help people. So everything, so who is storing that image in you? That's your manas. And when you stop taking food, your manas will get cleansed. That's what Gautam Maharshi did here. And he said, you don't take food, you just take air. And then for thousands of years, you don't come out of the ashram. He said, let the dirt come on to you. Right? Till then, you stay here. And why would you get Shapa Vimochana when Sri Rama comes here? Because he is the avatar of the Supreme. And when the avatar of Supreme is coming here, obviously all the sins will go away. And by now your mind is cleansed, your body is cleansed, and you have taken the darshana of Lord. You would have become the greatest person on the earth by now. So this is what Ahalya's story is all about. Even when the husband knew that there was a willing mistake that was done, he was able to give her the solution, and he punished himself from by going away. When you look at it, Gautama did not marry. Gautama did not look at any other lady. For him, Ahalya was there in his mind, and he was waiting for Sri Ramachandra to come so that they can, when once he comes back, they can live together again. So this is Ahalya's story. That's why we say Manasa Vacha Karmana. So many a times in many families we have these issues where the mind is on someone else, what comes out of the mouth is something else, and what we do in act is something else. But they say in Sanatana Dharma, once you get married, you are theirs. Manasa means with mind, Vacha with your talk, and Karmana with your deeds. Okay, so once Ahalya became her previous self once again, she invited Sri Ramachandra. She was extremely happy about his arrival there. She gave him nice food with her tapashakti, and all of a sudden, Gautam Maharshi also came there. Sri Ramachandra looked at both of them. Vishwamitra Maharshi was happy because Gautam Maharshi has got back to his ashrama, and then they took leave of Ahalya and Gautama and then moved towards Mithila. That's the story of Ahalya. And when Devendra went back, he told all Devatas, see, our job was to reduce the tapasya of him. I was able to reduce, but now see, I have lost my Purushatva or my manhood. Do something for it. Then they invite all the Pitru Devas, the Rishis, the Munis, all the Devatas, they invite them. Then all of them come and they get the testicles of a goat, of a male goat, and they attach it to Devendra. Okay, that's how the Ahalya Shapa Vruttanta is done. Now, what is Rama learning out of all this? What is Sri Ramachandra learning out of all this? As an 18-year-old, or not even, he's a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old now. So in some Ramayanas, they say that the marriage age was 12 years itself. So anything between 12 and less than 16. This man or this boy is learning that as a man, you should be able to accept the mistake and if possible, correct the mistake of your wife, but never ever leave her. Having learned this wonderful lesson, Sri Ramachandra was very happy, and they are now entering Mithila Nagara. Now, how did they enter? Where did they enter? And whom are they going to meet there? And how did Janaka welcome them? All that is for our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. सर्वं सत्कृति सास्ति महाराज स्वामी चरणारविंदार्पणमस्तु। स्वस्ति। जय श्री राम।